Hello. The video you are about to see contains images of dolls only. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday already.
Can't believe it.
The time is just flying. And welcome to another edition of Wine and Reborns without the wine. To be honest, we're so enjoying just chatting to you without actually having to do anything. No babies to change, just babies to cuddle, that we thought we'd come on and do it again. And this time we have lovely reborn human babies, no fantasy babies. Who do you have?
I have sweet little Luke, the legendary Levi. I have wanted to hold a Levi sculpt for so long, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since it came out and people started raving about it.
Well, now you do. What do you think of him?
He's so snuggly.
Yeah, I knew you'd love him.
He's so snuggly. And the longer I hold him and spend with him, the more smitten I am. And I'm like, no, this does not need to happen to me.
I am such a bad influence on you.
You are.
And Levi's wearing his cute little jeans and top. He looks so cute. I remember the terrible time I had getting those jeans on.
Yeah, I believe it, because I took them off the first day that I was here. I took them off because I wanted to see his little legs. And then I had to get them back on. I was like, oh my goodness.
Ugh, I'm yawning because I had a late night last night. I'll tell you more about that later, but I didn't get to bed till 1:10.
Oh my word.
You dirty stop-out.
I know, I was busy doing stuff and I didn't realise the time. I didn't get to bed till 1:10, and so I'm not really awake yet. I am holding the delicious Mary Lou, and she is just so cute, and she is the Fiona sculpt from Alissa Marx. And don't you just love that mouth? I love these full poochy lips. They're just so cute.
She's Jake's twin. She's Jake's secret twin.
Yeah, she's very much like Jacob. She's just beautiful. She's so much like Jake. I mean, Jake's asleep and she's awake. But she's just such a gorgeous little snuggle bug. And I just love this partially open hand because she can hold onto your finger.
It's so cute.
He's so cute. He's so cute. So one thing really made my day today, and that was Valerie Lake. I'm giving you a shout out because you made my morning. She told me that my Klingon baby actually does look like Michael Dorn, who is the actor that plays Worf in Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine. So the baby is having a name change because when she said that, I could now not think of him as anything but Worf. It's just stuck. And actually I gave him Worf as a middle name, so Dual Worf is now just known as Worf. It's just his middle name we're going to use instead of his full name. So he's not actually the Worf, he's a kind of might be Worf's grandson. I know it can't even be that, but I don't know. But
Long lost cousin,
long lost relation, I don't know. But he's my little Wolf. My Wolf baby. He's so cute. And I'm just so thrilled with him. I keep going over there to where he is on the chair by Alfie and just gloating over him.
I'm really glad.
Oh, I'm so thrilled with him. So, didn't we have a fabulous day yesterday?
Yes, it was so much fun.
Yeah, what we did was we did some music with my cue cord and we were doing a little bit of singing, and then I said, oh, I wish I had a karaoke machine. You know, I love doing karaoke. I wish we could do some karaoke. And you said to me, what did you say?
That you can find karaoke tracks on iTunes, on Apple Music.
And I just never thought of doing that. So what we did was we got my little Bose SoundLink Mini speaker.
Which I'm in love with, by the way.
And we used that in conjunction with my phone to give us a better sound. And we searched for karaoke tracks on Apple Music, the songs we wanted to sing. And we sang for hours.
And I found out, again, that I'm not super good at karaoke.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
Well, I'm not super good. My voice is ruined these days. It's very husky and cracked and doesn't do high notes very well. But that's not important. What was important was that we had a ton of fun.
Yeah, we did.
We had a ton of fun, and I think we're going to be doing some more today. And I'm sorry, people, I can't put it up here because I've had a clear year. I was looking yesterday. I've had a clear year with no copyright notices. I'm so thrilled. I hate getting copyright notices. So I'm not going to be risking getting any more of those by putting stuff up here. So, no. Some people don't mind doing song covers and getting copyright claim notices, but I hate it. Because for every copyright claim notice, you're risking a strike. And I'm not doing that. No way, not no how. Sorry. So, yeah.
It's sad.
I know, but it just fills me with uncomfortableness. So, yeah, I don't like doing it. So, sorry about that. But it was wonderful fun to sing, especially because I love old songs, songs from the beginning of the 20th century, jazz numbers. They're so much fun to do. So, yeah, it was terrifically good fun. So we'll do some more today. The reason I was so late getting to bed last night was that I was doing a playlist and I spent ages searching for stuff, and when I came to check that my playlist was okay, I found that Apple Music hadn't added half of them, so I had to go back, fix a setting that needed to be fixed, and re-add them again. So it was very late.
So basically you did what I intended to do, except that the hotel Wi-Fi is super laggy and drops all the time.
Yeah. The hotel Wi-Fi's aren't very good.
And I was very, very tired, and I went to bed.
Oh, never mind. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was this super interesting tag that has been going around a long time, and I've always wanted to do it, and I've never had the time because I've been changing a baby and talking about this, that and the other. But now we have leisure. You did this, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So tell us about what it is, because I don't want to monopolise the conversation too much.
So this was a tag that was started by Suzanne's babies.
Love her.
Yeah.
She's so good.
We're so glad she's back.
Absolutely.
I missed her while she was gone. And of course I was gone for part of that time too, but even so. So anyway, she asked the question, why do you really collect dolls? Because a lot of people focus on the surface stuff she was pointing out, the artwork, which of course if you look at these little babies and their little details and little nails and everything, their eyebrows and eyelashes, their lips, the artwork is amazing. The sculpting is amazing, even before you get the paint on. I mean, the details in this little guy just blow my mind.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I met Miss Mary Lou there for the first time this morning, the back of her neck is incredible.
Let me see, I haven't noticed that. Let me just see. Oh my gosh, look at the rolls she's got there.
And little Luke here has the little indentation on the back of her neck. Sorry, Rhea.
Look at the rolls on the back of her neck. That's amazing.
Yeah. He's like, stop moving me around.
Yeah,
you're
stop
such a
moving
bad
me around. I
auntie.
was comfortable there. So, darling, let's just straighten your head up a little bit there.
But so what she was saying was, what's underneath all of that for you?
I had to think a lot about this one, and this is another reason why I haven't got it done for ages. I started to collect dolls, and this is going right back to my childhood. I started to really get interested in dolls when a lot of people are giving them up, and this is when I was about 10-ish, and a lot of my friends had run out of dolls. And this is when my life started to get a bit tough. Not tough in kind of nasty tough ways, but tough as in I was lonely at school. I was not particularly happy within myself because I was overweight. It was nothing to do with, I had a happy home, I had a lovely parents, I had a lovely brother. Everything was okay, but I wasn't happy in myself. I wasn't comfortable with myself. So what I would do is I would come home from school, I would go up into my bedroom, I would get my dolls that were all sitting out on my dresser, and I would go into some imaginary world and just escape from myself. Now, that went on all through my life, all through my teens. And when I was grown up and I had a little bit of money, I started to collect Cindy dolls. Does anyone remember the old Cindy dolls? They were the British English Rose, demure little housewife, as opposed to Barbie, the glamour girl, with her large rack and her high heels.
And whenever we've talked about this, I've mentioned if I could have had Cindy instead of Barbie, I would have loved Cindy.
Yeah.
But I had Barbie, so I just pretended that they were demure.
She was so much more sort of demure and housey than Barbie. Barbie had a Ferrari and a jacuzzi, and Cindy had a coal scuttle and a fireplace and a mop and bucket and a record player.
But I would have loved that so much.
Yeah, I loved it. I didn't have things like that. I did have some furniture. I had these two amazing I had 3 yellow armchairs, which I used to love to sit by Cindy's in, around a coffee table, which had a tea set on it, and a chocolate cake that had 2 slices that you could take out of it and put on the little plates.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so cool. And I had a beautiful 4-poster bed, which I loved. And I had I had quite a lot of outfits and things. And I was well grown up by this time. I must have been 18, still living at home, just before I moved it was. And again, I was still not comfortable with myself. I'd been away at school for years. I just not quite straight in my head. I don't mean I was mentally ill. I just meant that I was having my teenage angst. Didn't quite know who I was. So I would go into my room and I would sit down and I would make the Cindy house around myself, and I would just escape. And as my life moved on and I had my ups and my downs, when life got tough, I had porcelain dolls by this time, and I would sit down somewhere quiet and I would tell myself a story. Even if I had a doll sitting or standing on my lap, I would tell myself a story. And then the real banger hit me, that I was unable to have any children. And that, what let me tell you, was a horror. It was very hard for me to deal with. In fact, I didn't deal with it, to be honest. It really very nearly broke my heart. And I tried to collect toy baby dolls. That didn't work for me. Horrible things happened to me. My marriage went wrong and blah-de-blah. And then I'd given up dolls, but I thought to myself, I've got to have something. I've got to do something, make a coping mechanism. So I got Barbies. And again, I used to sit down somewhere quiet and tell myself a story and make this glamorous world that was absolutely nothing like the world that I was living in. And then, of course, the rest is history. I got my first Lee Middleton, Cathy Ann, and that helped me to deal with this huge hole inside myself. You've heard the story before. So I think the real reason I collect dolls is because I've always had that place inside myself that when life gets tough and I need some help to deal with what is hard for me to deal with, it doesn't mean that I duck out. I know that there are things in life that you have to face, but when it's a coping mechanism for me. Some people have a few drinks, some people do therapy, some people they use narcotics. Some people have their own ways of coping. My way of coping is to hold one of these and to slip into a different world for a little while. Certainly, I don't lose my grip on reality I know that the problem still needs to be dealt with. But these little people help me. Always. They're always there for me. They never, ever, ever let me down. Ever. And that's a great blessing to me.
Yeah, one of the wonderful things about these dolls is that they don't ever change.
No. They're always there for you. And I know it sounds stupid to say, but they feel as if they love you back, don't they?
Well, remember, that was Lee Middleton's motto back in the day.
Oh,
the babies that love you back.
I'd forgotten that.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that. How amazing.
Yeah.
But they do. They feel as if they love you back. It's an incredible feeling, and some people, they can't do this because they have too much of a literal mind. I was reading an article, a blog I wrote a while back about this, and I said in it, some people cannot do the doll thing because they have such a literal mind. A spade is a spade is a spade. A doll is a doll is a doll. It's a hunk of cloth and plastic and glass eyes and paint, and that's all it can ever be. But for the lucky few of us who can do this and can get to that special place where this hunk of plastic and cloth and stuffing and paint and glass eyes can actually suddenly become a little bundle of joy, it's such a huge blessing. Huge.
And we
big.
don't forget what they are.
Of course not. Of course not. Never. But we can just slip sideways into that special little place where our disbelief is suspended for a moment.
It's like reading a book or playing a game.
Yeah.
Or writing a story.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing that you did. You know, when I was about 10, 12, 13, I had just read Little Women. And I wanted my life to be like that.
Yeah.
And so my two favorite dolls were a little girl doll who looked like she was about 6, and she was maybe 14 inches long.
Oh.
And then Heather, the older one's name was Faith. And then the baby was Heather, and she was actually 20 inches, so she was life-sized.
Oh, wow.
And I did not care that the oldest child was smaller than the youngest one.
Mm.
But they were my little girls, and I would go in my room, and that was my house. And these two dolls were my daughters.
Oh.
And I just had this little world.
It's wonderful that we can do that. Anyway, we're going on for a long time, so I guess we better love you and leave you now. But I hope you enjoyed our little chat. We will not be back now for quite some days. We might hopefully get a video up on Monday. It depends how busy Brian is. But if we don't see you before, we will see you for the party. Because that is looming large on the horizon. I do hope we will get to see you and have a reflection on Nicole's week. We will try and make that happen if we can. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves.
And enjoy your babies.
And
let's be good to each other.